All right, and good morning, North Texas. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios with a look at your forecast for this Memorial Day. Of course, today it's an important day. We remember and honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and this nation. We are forever grateful for their sacrifice and for all military families. So here's a look at what we got for your Memorial Day forecast today. And depending on the location, highs today anywhere from the lower to maybe the upper 80s area wide. Now, if you remember yesterday, we had the pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Some areas this morning could start off with that activity, and it could continue into other parts of the area into this afternoon and evening. So let's zoom into North Texas, into the immediate DFW area to show you the afternoon highs for today. Again, really just depends on the location, anywhere between, I'd say, about 83 to 86 degrees in the metro area. So it's going to be warm, but it's also going to be humid. So it may not be the most comfortable afternoon in terms of the conditions. Here's a look at what we got with the rain chances today. So starting off this morning, there's going to be expected rain chances on the board with the algorithm because, and I'll show you future scan here, this morning some areas may be starting off with some rainfall and some thunderstorm activity. Now, we're not necessarily talking severe, but kind of like yesterday, you may get one or two storms that they briefly pulse up to severe limits with maybe a couple handfuls of some smaller hail, and mixed in, you get a couple quarters and then some 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe a downburst wind or two. And so we're going to be looking at that forecast going forward. So rain chances overall today, not everyone's going to see storms, not everyone's going to see severe weather, but it's going to be similar to what we had yesterday where I can't rule out maybe one or two warnings with some of the stronger portions that they pulse up briefly. The other thing too, they're not going to move very quickly either. So that leads us into our rain totals. And with the activity, kind of like what we saw yesterday, we did have some flash flooding with the activity that it was nearly stationary, and some of the faster movements were anywhere between 5 to 10 miles an hour. So storms yesterday didn't really move, and today it's going to be fairly similar. There's not a whole lot of those winds to push these storms along, so anything may not really move today. So more of an isolated flash flooding potential further to the south and west, where we could start off with some of that rainfall this morning. Some areas could see as much as 2 to maybe 3 inches of rainfall. Now, zooming into the Metroplex, it's going to be a concern because yesterday we did have some flash flooding and some flash flood warnings that were across parts of the DFW area, including Tarrant and parts of Dallas County, where we had a flash flood warning there yesterday. So we'll have to keep an eye on these, pop-up showers and storms. They're going to be random, and you'll see that here with the future scan radar. Not everyone's going to see storms. Not everyone's going to see severe weather. Here's a look at that activity I'm talking about for this morning. That's close to 8 o'clock this morning, and it really stays off to the west until this afternoon. Stuff starts to bubble up in the DFW area. Now, this is going to be very similar to what we saw yesterday, where it's not widespread. Not everyone's going to see this activity. Many of us may stay dry. But notice they don't really move. And as they don't really move, this is going to lead to some problems. I know it's a holiday weekend. There's going to be people out, there's, nature trails to walk on. People are going to be out and about. They may be going shopping. They may be on the lake. If you have any of these plans, this activity may lead to disruption. So this afternoon, even parts of this morning, throughout the day, basically, I guess that's the overall moral of the story, is throughout the day, make sure that not only you have ways to receive alerts just in case. Again, like I said, not everyone's going to see severe weather. It's one of those days where you may get one or two warnings for, the base level stuff, 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe some marginally severe hail. Not everyone's going to see storms or severe weather, but make sure that you have ways to receive alerts just in case you're in the area that sees maybe one or two of those warnings. The other thing, too, I recommend this every holiday weekend or anytime people are out and about and we have the potential for storms in general. Make sure you have apps that send you lightning alerts. And, there's many out there, many that are great. You may be one of those who, one of those people that have the lightning detectors, the little ones that you can kind of clip on your belt or on your bag or anything like that. I have several of those from back when I was in sports in high school and stuff like that. If you have any of those, bring them along with you because you don't want to be caught off guard with the lightning and the thunderstorm activity. Even if it's not severe, it can lead to disruptions, especially if you're on an area lake. I know it's hard to get to shore quickly, so I just want you to be overall prepared today. Now, 7-day forecast going forward. Not everyone's going to see rain and storms today. That's the moral of the story, but I don't want you to go out, get on the lake, go outside and think, I'm not going to be a part of that 30% that sees the shower and storm activity today. Assume that there's a pretty fair and equal opportunity today. And we saw it yesterday. Not everyone saw those storms. Many areas were dry. There was some sunshine, stuff like that. And in other areas, it was a mess. You had storms for a couple hours and they didn't move, and all sorts of heavy rain activity, even some severe activity. And then Tuesday, a little bit of a break during the day. And then later in the day, the rain chances really start to increase. We're talking 80% Tuesday, later in the day, all the way into Wednesday. Thursday, lower rain chances, a little bit of a break. Back Friday. And then the weekend actually looks to be pretty good. Rain chances look to be on the lower end right now. But notice, this is going to start to feel a lot more like May going forward. Upper 80s, lower 90s. So that's a look at what we got today. So as we wrap this forecast up, A, hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your day. But B, like I said, not everyone's going to see severe storms. Not everyone's going to see storms in general. But I don't want you to think because it's a low potential, you're absolutely safe to get out there, not monitor the weather, and then you get caught off guard. It's not to scare you. We just want to let you know, hey, we know it's a holiday weekend. People want to be on the boats. They want to be on the lake. You may go out fishing. You may go out for a hike. You may not be doing anything at all. I just don't want you to be caught off guard by the chance that maybe one or two pop-ups develop, and then it could lead to some disruption. So if you have any sort of outdoor plans today, if you're planning to be on the lake, have those ways to receive those alerts. Not everyone's going to see this activity, but I want you to be prepared in the event. Again, not to scare you. We're not expecting any sort of widespread, significant, or severe weather type event, but, kind of like yesterday, they popped up quickly. They briefly reached strong to severe limits, and then they kind of went away, but it also created a mess with some heavy rainfall. So just be aware and alert today, and you'll be just fine. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a good one. One of the best ways to support us, sharing our media. If you like our updates and everything, share it with your friends and family. Also check out, I worked throughout the weekend on the website. We've added some things. It's easier to find our streaming. We don't have our streaming apps just yet. We don't have our mobile app just yet. These things take time, they take money, they take coding and a lot of effort. And we're working behind the scenes very diligently. We're trying to get these things up and running, trying to get the designs, make sure it's user-friendly, make sure it's exactly what you would want out of a weather app. So these things, they're coming. It's not going to be as quickly as we'd like personally, but in the meantime, it's easier to find our streaming right now, weather225.com, and you can find us live 24/7 there. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a good one. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather225 since 2015.